Welcome back to Livie'S Lovelies, your inspirational craft channel, and I'm your host, Fam the Fabulous. For more ideas, inspiration, swaps, and challenges, click the link in the description below to join our craft community, the Maker Exchange, on Facebook. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, all my artists, creatives, crafters, and makers. Welcome back to the Lovely Lab. All right, so I'm just turning this camera on to bring you guys along while I test out these watercolor brushes, water brushes that I purchased on Amazon. And again, I'll put a link up in the corner to the video that on the collective haul that I purchased these. And I showed you these on. What I wanted to do was try out some of the watercolor mediums that I have, or some of the mediums that I have that you can use for watercolor effects, if you will. So what I did was I just used a standard red rubber stamp. This is something I got in Happy Meal a few years back, and it's been used and loved on. And I also used this Hampton Art pigment ink. I don't have any other pigment ink. I'm going to have to, especially for the whole watercoloring venture, invest in a larger pad, because this came in a set of, I think, 6 or 8 colors. And I believe pigment ink is the type of ink that does not, that you can use different water-based mediums over. So you're going to be this is the first time I'm trying this, so you're coming along with me and you'll learn as I learn. All right, so anyways, so have those two. I'm going to set those off to the side, and this is actually watercolor paper. This I purchased a couple years ago from Big Lots, and it's this brand, Art First by Pagan, I think. It's heavy weight, smooth. I don't know. It's this uniform texture, acid-free, recyclable. I don't know if this is cold pressed or it's quite a number of different types of watercolor papers. I'm not very versed on them because I'm not really a watercolor artist. I'm not a watercolor artist. Let me just make sure I say that. But I definitely like the effect of having it, the effect that it has in my creative space. And I'm going to put this, what is this? It's not Teflon, it's silicone mat down just to protect my craft mat. And I will be able to get this sopping wet if need be. Now, there's lots of different techniques that I've seen people use, like getting the paper wet first before you put your color down. So we're going to try all of those different things. I'm just looking for something to house extra color in, so bear with me for a second. And I need, okay, this will work. That'll work even better. This is what some markers came in, but I figure I can just use these divots for different colors. All right, so let me get some more space here, tidy up a bit. You think I could have did this before I turned this camera on and aggravate y'all, right? But y'all don't mind, I'm sure. All right, so we got that. I have an extra cup of water here, just in case, because again, I have no idea what I'm doing. And there's somebody that is a watercolor artist that's probably saying, "Girl, get the brush, get the inks out." All right, so let's start off with, let's try the big brush first and see how this. Now, I've already filled majority of these up with water, and I think it says squeeze. I'm left-handed, so I'm going to do it like this. Squeeze. And I'm not feeling any water coming down into this brush, so I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. You have to get it wet first, or Oh, okay. Did y'all see that? Oh, I don't know why you would need to do that, but needless to say, there you have it. All right, so let's get started. Let's just go ahead and move that. First, we are going to work on, I'm going to wet that a little bit. Yeah, that's a little wet. All right, let's use I haven't used the watercolor creams yet, so, not on camera anyways. And these are the Bria Reese watercolor creams that I picked up from, oh gosh, I think I said Beals in the video, but something tells me I got this from someplace else. Anyways, you can get these on Amazon. Okay, folks? So, let's see how these work out. Alright, so let's start with some red. I'm going to put a little red down here in this, just so we can see. Do I need to really? Alright. Okay. So let's just see how the red works. Okay. I'm sure that there's some technique somebody's saying somewhere, like, girl, you can do blah, blah, blah. Pull that color over here. But bear with me, folks. You know this is my first time. Okay. Now, how do you clean that? Is there a specific way to clean it? Now, just so you know. Wait a minute. Let me show you. Wrong thing. Oh my gosh. Did y'all see that? Put the wrong cap on. And it was difficult. You think that I would have learned. So this, I'm thinking it's supposed to be able to get cleaned easier. What am I doing wrong? Anybody out there? Drop a comment. Let me just take this off of here and see if there's something that I need to do to the brush base. No? Nothing blocking it. Not that I can see. Let me get some extra paper to dab that on. Okay, now another thing I wanted to try was the transfer, the color transfer. Oh, there's that water. There, it's coming out. All right, so let's try transferring straight from the brush. And let's go on this base here. Although I didn't wet it first. I'm not sure if that makes a difference. Let's try that again. But let's do it with a wet brush. A wet piece of paper first. We'll do the top of it. Let's wet the top first. And then we'll do a comparison. I probably should have used a smaller brush. You know, that might have would have made a difference. Just the concentration levels. All right, so the paper's already wet. I can see the water coming down right in here. You guys probably can't see it, but all right. It's not much difference in terms of how pigmented the color is. It really isn't. Alright, so that's the Bria Reese. Now let's move on to a different size brush in a different medium. And those are called the Bria Reese Cream Watercolor Creams. And it does have a little guide on the inside to show you how to use, how to get different effects. And I just taped it down to the inside of the box. But there you have those instructions. So that's pretty handy for those of us who are completely ignorant to the whole watercoloring world. All right, now next up is the Crayola. This is Crayola. It's cheap old Crayola. And I'm going to use a different size brush because as we saw here, and I'm going to clean these brushes later, so don't worry, folks. As we saw, the being able to manage the color does help. Okay? Am I right? Or am I right? All right, let's see. Can I get this wet on its own? Let me turn these upside down. The rest of them upside down. All right, so let's go. This just Crayola. The ones you buy for $1.99, $1 or 99 cents from Dollar Tree or Target or Walmart. All right, we're gonna go with. I forgot to. Let me do that. Let me wet the paper first. Now I've had plenty of and by the way, as we can see, the pigment ink does not run. So kudos to whatever video I saw that on that taught me that. All right, so move that, slide that up, and bring this on over. I'm going to use the orange. Bring that orange over to the lid. And I would say before you get started to flip those watercolor brushes over so that the water can begin to absorb into, it's kind of like a wick. Water can begin to absorb into the wick. And you can, I don't even know why I'm trying to get that much color in here because I'm not going to use that much of it. But so that the water can begin to absorb into the wick that's in here, and you can get a stream of, when you press the sides, you can actually get some water to come out as you need it. So I'm just going to go ahead and lay down the pigment or the watercolor ink paint on top of the wet pages. And this particular brush does give me a lot more control. As you can see, I'm able to stay inside the lines a little bit better. Now, the thing I like about watercolor is that it has different shades. You can, where it deposits, you can move it around. You can definitely move it around, but it's not the same as just a flat level of paint. If you want a flat level of paint, like that's not really what watercolor is about. And you can move it around still. So in areas that you want to lighten, you would just put down more water or pick it up with a napkin, from my understanding. But so that's what we get there. Oh, it wasn't even in focus. I'm sorry, guys. Isn't that cute? All right, let's move on to, I'm going to keep with this brush, but I'm going to move on to a different medium. Okay. I hope you guys are enjoying this little display here. Now, we're going to use the Art Skills paint sticks. Again, the last watercolor was the Crayola. It was just Crayola, nothing major. Alright, let's try a purple. That'll show up really well. Let me clean this brush well. I'm not sure if it's staining or if there's still ink left in it, because as you can see, let's see, there's still color left in there. Alright, so let's go ahead and wet the base for here. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab some of this purple paint stick. Let me put this down in one of the areas there. I don't know if you can see that, but this is what this looks like. Let me show you on the side. That's how it comes out straight off the stick when wet. And then we'll see whether or not we can move that around. Okay, now let's see if we can move this purple that I just laid down. Let's see if we can move that around off to the side. The page wasn't wet, so that's one thing. It won't move that much. You can get some shading outside of it, but I'm thinking that if you wanted to do it like that, let's see what would happen if we put it down on a sheet of paper, on the paper if it was wet. Let's see what effect we would get straight from the stick. All right, it begins to, let's see if you can see that. It begins to spread on its own. So then, how much spreading, how much can we do with that color? Okay, so it's safe to say that once this is down, it's down. But these, I think I paid $5 or $6 for these, so this is a nice, you can use it in your mixed media. You know, you may not be able to get a full effect of, full watercolor effect, but it is water soluble, so you can smooth and vibrant. 5 pieces. Maybe you can even mix them. I haven't tried it, but I'm certain you can. Let's see what happens if we mix these two together. What will happen? The Bria Reese and the Art Skills. That's a pretty little purple color. Waste not, want not, right? That dog next door, I think he thinks the whole neighborhood belongs to him. And heaven forbids the Amazon truck pulls up, or anything for that matter, he goes berserk. And every time Josh goes out that door and that dog is outside, and mind you, he's on a leash, and the leash is tied to a tree or something like that, and he's got plenty of space. I personally don't believe in putting dogs on leashes and leaving them outside like that, but he's probably got around 25 feet of space, and they bring him inside throughout the day. But he's outside, I think, more than he's in. That's just my personal observation. Anyways, but every time Josh goes out that door, he feels the need to go over there and have a conversation with him, as if he is the boss of him. He's like, stop all that barking. What do you need? And I'm just like, that dog got better things to do besides answer to you, sir. All right, you know what? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. So this is the Art Skills Crafters Closet Watercolor Pencils. This is just add water to create amazing watercolor paintings. Okay. I'm sure it's just that simple. All right, so let me go ahead and put some water down first. And then we're going to try transferring on the top and then straight from the pencil at the bottom. I'm interested to see how this is going to work up the top. Now I'm pressing the sides right now to get more water to flow out, and it is. And it's possibly because I've been using it throughout. So that just lets me know that you have to, you definitely have to have those, you got to prime them a little bit, you know. Yep, here we go. Here's the more water coming out. All right, that's kind of, I don't know if it's the paper that's making it a little grainy. And I do know with watercolor, wow, you can't fuss too much with the paper. You know, you have to let it dry before you come back in and make some adjustments. That's my understanding. I'm sure there's someone out there that's going to say differently, and by all means, I encourage you to educate us. Okay, so I did wet that page, but I think it dried out before I got back to it. So when you push it, I don't think you should, I think you need to push the sides and give it time for the water to come down. Now let's see, while it's already wet, let's see what happens. Okay, you can move it around. How far can you move it? Let's see. Somewhat. I don't think these move as far as the other ones do, as you can see. You know what I mean? Make sure I'm in focus there. All right, let's try. We got the Vicky Bootins. One more, and then I'm going to let y'all go. Not that I'm holding y'all hostage, or am I? And then we'll be done with our little trial here. So the last one up is the Vicky Bootin art crayons. All right. I like these because you don't actually have, I've used these quite a bit. You don't actually have to, you can use these wet or dry. And I'm going to show you just what I mean in just a second. Okay, so let's use this reddish color. All right, let me put it straight down here on dry. Make sure this brush is clean from the blue so we don't get a purple working over here, which we probably will anyways. All right, so these are the Vicky Bootins, and the pigment is amazing. Amazing, I say. It's very vibrant. It does not, you don't have to kind of oversaturate it in order to get the colors to move, the color to move. But let me just show you how much it can move. All right, I just added a little bit more water from out the brush. And I personally like when the color comes a little bit outside of the edge. I don't like for watercolor to be super neat. I mean, it kind of defeats the purpose of it being a watercolor. So that's how it is when it's, you spread it, when you crayon to dry paper. Okay, now also, before I go any further, let me just show you this. Mind you, this is watercolor paper, so of course this is going to act differently than cardstock, so keep that in mind. But that's a pretty blend as well. Now let's try this with wet paper. That's wet paper. And then last but not least, transferring. Let me wet the top of this here. Make sure I'm in focus. Make sure I have enough on here. Okay. Now it doesn't transfer as well straight from the crayon, unless you like it light. So now let's take a different approach. And let's do the bottom. Let's just add water to it while it's in this container. Okay, and then we're going to do the base of the cupcake. And as you can see, that works a little bit better than just trying to transfer from here. So you got 3 different levels from one crayon. This, and this. So let me just show you a close-up. And that's what we got. So we've got this was the Livie's watercolor creams. That was the Crayola watercolor markers. This was the paint sticks. This was the watercolor pencils. And these top and bottom was the Livie's watercolor creams. All right, so thanks so much for stopping by, guys. I hope you enjoyed that little demo, and hopefully that'll help you decide which of these mediums will work out best for you. I know that wasn't a totally thorough demo, but it was the best I could do with my limited knowledge, and it's just a little bit more information to help you decide which of these products would work in your craft, for your craft medium, whatever one you enjoy using the most, and also to give you an idea of how these watercolor brush pens work. And one last thing with that pigment ink, I want to just add that when I was using this stamp, I noticed that the top ones is where I started. This one gave me the best impression. These two gave me the best impression, and that's because they were the last 2 that I stamped. So that tells me that with the red rubber and the pigment ink, it's best to stamp a few times before you stamp your actual image that you want to work with. Okay, so anyways, that being said, guys, I hope this has helped you, and if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I mean, it doesn't cost you anything, and if you didn't like it, you can hit the thumbs down button. It does help my analytics, just so you know. So either way, whether you liked it or not, hit one of those buttons. I don't mind the thumbs down because it lets me know what you guys like. But that being said, guys, until we're back here again on YouTube, stay encouraged, stay blessed, stay creative in crafting. Don't forget to wear your masks, wash your hands, and check in on your elderly and those who can't get out. All right? Bye for now. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Hit subscribe to join the crafty community, and be sure to click the bell for notifications of new uploads. Thank you so much for watching. Now stay tuned for more from Livie'S Lovelies, your inspirational craft channel. Bye for now.